Okay, boys and girls, well, we're starting a brand new week, if you can believe it. We've already gone through one and we're starting a new one. And that means we're also starting a new chapter in science. Our new chapter is on living and non-living things and all the animal environments. But this week, we're just going to focus on living and non-living. And if you happen to pick up your packet, this all should have been in it together. And the one thing that's really going to be helpful is this little red book. It's going to help tell you all of the things that require for a non-living and living thing to kind of help you decipher which is which. So that will be really helpful today as we're looking through. So if you happen to have it with you, if not, you can just follow along with me. So if we look at my board right here, I've got living things. Living things eat, grow, breathe, and reproduce. So I've got a person, a flower, a tree, a bird, a crab, a whale, and a fish. They all eat, grow, breathe, and reproduce. Sometimes we don't think of plants and flowers as eating and breathing, but they do. It's harder because we don't see them with a mouth going and breathing in. I looked at my tree and I don't see a mouth on him, but trees breathe just different than I do. It's more of absorbing in the air, and that's the same with their eating. They absorb it through the roots in the bottoms when they're underneath the ground, and then also their leaves absorb the sunlight. It's called photosynthesis. It's a big long word, practicing photosynthesis. It's really long, but that they absorb it. It'd be kind of cool if we could absorb our food. Imagine just putting it on you and just goes right through. That would be kind of funny and silly at the same time. Non-living things are the opposite of living. Non-living things do not eat, grow, breathe, or reproduce. So a shirt, pizza, yummy, kite, pencil, and we've got a cat book over here. So books they don't make themselves. We make them, but they don't make themselves. And another thing I want to talk about when it comes to reproducing, we know we've seen baby birds, baby whales, a fish, a crab. We've seen babies, but we don't think of flowers and trees in the form of little babies that we can rock. But they make babies. Those are the smaller ones, the smaller trees, the smaller flowers, and then they grow up to be the large, big ones that we see. So that's when they reproduce. They're making more of them. They're growing. So one of the activities that you have to do this week is a scavenger hunt around your house, maybe on a nature walk, maybe outside if moms and dads say it's okay. But you're going to kind of walk around and see what living and non-living things you can find. Before you do that, though, you want to make a prediction. Predict what is the living or non-living, how many you're going to find, what you're going to find more of. So to give you a couple examples, I'm going to show you some living and non-living things I found just around my house. And I'm going to go to my two assistants over here. You might have heard them, seen them walking a little bit in the background here. I've talked about them in class before. We've got our gentleman here, Frank and Tomato. Frank is more of the out one, so we'll see if we can get him. Oh, we're going to get Tomato to come out first. Tomato knows what this is, but Tomato's going to pop right back in his little hidey. Here, Frank. You can have your own if you want. Nope. You want that one? Here, I'll give this one to Frank then. Tomato will take that one. But we can see just by this, and I'm going to pop this out. Tomato's not going to like this very much for just a minute. But you can see Tomato, he stopped eating because he's a little nervous. Tomato is our bigger guy, and Frank is our smaller one because Frank was a baby when we first got him. Tomato was probably more of in his teenage years. So they're growing. So remember, we're checking off the boxes to see if they're living or non-living. We can see they're eating. Yep, see, Frank would like to eat my finger too. They're eating their lettuce, and then they're growing. They've both grown. And also they have their water bottle right here. And then we have their cage all nice and open because they need to be able to breathe the air out. If they can't have that air, they wouldn't be able to. They need the air to be able to breathe. So this is just a full example of living and non-living, and I'm going to give Tomato back his home so he can hide away again and not be detected. There we go. But they check off all of our boxes. They're growing, they're eating, they have water, and guinea pigs do reproduce. That's how we got Frank and Tomato. They were both little guys from their moms. So that's how we've gotten both of them. Another example, if I look at, we've got this glass bowl. Let's see. Doesn't appear to be breathing, doesn't need any air. It's definitely not eating anything. It's not growing. Believe it or not, I've watched this for a while. It doesn't get any bigger. And if you can see, I do not have another one in my hand. I don't have a baby little glass bowl. It doesn't reproduce. We make these ourselves, so this isn't something that is living. It's a non-living thing. And then we've got some little eyeballs here. Same thing. It's not eating. It's not drinking. I don't have multiple eyeball thingies going on. They're not reproducing. We only make them. But I do have these wonderful roses. And roses, if you look real closely on the bottom here, they have water. They need water. That's how they stay alive. They would dry up if not. They also need the sunlight. It's actually kind of cool if you have any type of flowers outside or in your house, you can kind of watch. They will go to where the sunlight is. If I put these roses farther away from the window, my roses will start to lean a little bit. They'll try to go towards the sunlight because they need that light in order to live. That's their nutrients. So they check off our boxes because we can always make, I can take the seeds inside here and plant and make more roses, and they continue to reproduce. So boys and girls, that is our living and non-living for this week. You've got several things to be working on, not just a scavenger hunt. You'll also have a sort here where you'll sort out the different living and non-living items and put them on the right side. You can color and cut them out and then glue, tape, paste them on here. Another one, kind of figuring out if it's living or non-living, if they're in the right box. So check off the things and see. I think you're gonna color living and non-living in the correct box and put an X if it's found its way in the wrong box. So you're kind of being that teacher and checking. And the last one is this little packet. You'll see there's a bunch of different pictures of living and non-living things. You're gonna sort them out, and then you're gonna draw a picture of each one, and then you're gonna check off the boxes. Does it eat and drink? Does it move on its own? Does it grow and change? Does it reproduce offspring? So you're gonna check if all 4 boxes are checked off, then you know it's living and you can keep going. If it doesn't, if one of these boxes can't be checked off, then it goes in that category of non-living. Okay, if you have any questions, if your moms and dads say it's okay and you get a chance, I would love to see pictures of you on your scavenger hunts, seeing all the things that you come up with, what you can find around your house and in your yard. And you can send those to me in email or a class tag. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a great week. Bye, first grade.